Hey everyone, and welcome back to Talk Tickers. We're diving deep today into Rithm Capital's Q4 and full year 2024 earnings call.
Yeah, what's really kind of fascinating about Rithm is how much they've transformed, I mean, they were a billion-dollar company focused on mortgage servicing rights.
Yeah.
And now they're this almost $8 billion powerhouse.
Right.
Managing like over $80 billion in assets.
It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it is.
It really is, and their recent earnings report reflects that growth for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Earnings are up
a
staggering 76% since the first quarter of 2021.
Wow.
That translates to $2.10 per share available for distribution in 2024 with a 9.2% dividend yield.
Now, for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with dividend yield, that basically means that for every $100 you invest, you can expect $9.20 back annually in dividends.
Right. Which is pretty attractive.
Pretty attractive, yeah, compared to a lot of other investment options out there.
For sure. And CEO Michael Nierenberg, he really emphasized their commitment to performance-driven growth during the call.
Yeah.
They're not interested in chasing these, fleeting trends.
Right.
They want to focus on sectors where they have deep expertise and can generate those consistent returns.
Exactly. And I think a really good example of that is their mortgage origination and servicing arm, Nourez.
Yeah.
They've climbed the ranks.
Yeah, they have.
To become the #3 servicer and #5 originator in the U.S.
It's really impressive.
Oh, it is.
Especially in a market where we're seeing a lot of competitors struggling right now.
Absolutely. It's a tough market.
What factors do you think are driving Nourez's success?
Well, one of the things that they've done really well is invest heavily in technology. They've got this proprietary platform that lets them underwrite loans faster and with less overhead than their competitors.
Okay.
So that efficiency has really helped them to capture a significant share of the market.
I see. So they're really leaning into tech to kind of streamline their process and get ahead of the competition?
Absolutely. That's a big part of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But Rithm isn't just content with, kind of dominating the mortgage market.
Right.
They're also strategically branching out into other lucrative areas.
Yeah.
Like asset-based finance.
Yeah. That's a smart move. Asset-based finance, sometimes called the new $30 trillion opportunity.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But Rithm's already been working in this space for a while now.
Okay.
And basically what it involves is lending money to companies using their assets, like inventory or equipment as collateral.
Interesting.
It's a less conventional form of lending, but it has the potential to be very, very profitable.
So they're kind of tapping into a market that's not as well known.
Exactly.
But has, like you said, massive potential.
Huge potential, yeah.
And they're even venturing into global energy infrastructure.
Yeah.
Partnering with scale capital partners to provide power to data centers worldwide.
And that is a brilliant play. I mean, they're recognizing this massive need for power in our world. I mean, everything is data-driven these days.
It really is.
The demand for data centers is just going through the roof, you know? And to keep those running takes a ton of energy.
Absolutely. Now, one of the more intriguing points that they raised during the call was Rithm's belief that they're significantly undervalued by the market.
Yeah, and you know what? I can see their point. I mean, they're making over $1 billion in earnings annually.
It's a lot.
And yet they're trading at a lower multiple than other asset managers.
Right.
And that kind of discrepancy suggests that maybe there's some hidden potential there for investors who can see their true value.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they're not just passively buying assets.
Right.
They're actually creating them through their operating businesses.
That's right.
Which gives them a level of control and flexibility that a lot of asset managers just don't have.
Yeah, that's a big differentiator for Rithm. They're actively building and managing businesses that generate assets,
right,
which allows them to really shape their portfolio according to their expertise and their strategic vision.
That's really smart. And I think their acquisition of Great Ajax is a really good example of this.
Oh, yeah.
Struggling REITs.
Yeah.
They swooped in. They acquired them,
right,
turned them into a profit-generating machine in just a few months.
It's impressive.
It's incredibly impressive. It really speaks to their operational expertise and their ability to identify these undervalued opportunities.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. Their earnings multiple might be low.
Yeah.
Some analysts argue that's justified because of the higher risk associated with some of their assets.
Yeah.
But when you look at what they did with Great Ajax, now Rithm Property Trust,
Right.
that really demonstrates their ability to assess risk,
Yeah.
identify value, and implement really effective strategies.
They know what they're doing, it seems like.
They do. They do.
Now, their move into energy infrastructure is particularly fascinating to me,
Yeah, it's interesting.
especially their partnership with former Fortress colleagues
Right.
who specialize in powering data centers. This is such a niche market,
It is.
but it has enormous growth potential.
Oh, it does. Absolutely.
So I'm really curious to see how that plays out for them.
Yeah, and I think that partnership is really smart because it aligns them with experts in a field that's just, like you said, it's got massive demand.
Yeah.
And it really underscores their commitment to long-term
Right.
sustainable growth.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about Rhythm's core businesses,
Yeah.
their impressive growth.
Right.
But what does this all mean for,
Right.
investors like us?
Well, I think their strong performance and the strategic moves they're making really suggest that they're well positioned for future growth,
Okay.
even if the market gets, a little volatile.
Yeah.
And their focus on these undervalued assets
Right.
and operational excellence could lead to some pretty attractive returns,
Gotcha.
especially for those who get in early.
So you're saying there's potential for early investors
Yeah.
to really capitalize on this?
Yeah, potentially. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing's guaranteed.
Of course. Of course.
But yeah, I think there's definitely some potential there.
Okay. And their expansion into new areas, like we talked about,
Right.
asset-based finance, energy infrastructure,
Yeah,
that offers some diversification
absolutely.
and exposure to potentially high growth sectors.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're really trying to build a sustainable business model here,
Right.
not just riding a temporary wave.
Exactly.
They're thinking long term,
Yeah.
which I think is really smart.
Yeah. And they're clearly putting in the work.
Oh yeah, they're not just sitting back and, hoping for the best. They're being proactive and strategic.
Yeah.
And that's really impressive to see.
Definitely. Now it's important to, acknowledge potential challenges too.
Right, of course.
For instance, they're pretty reliant on the mortgage market,
Uh-huh.
which could pose a risk if, interest rates
Yeah, if interest rates spike,
spike significantly. Yeah.
that could definitely slow down their origination business.
Right. That would make sense. Okay. So moving on to something a little more
Fun.
fun. Yeah. This is not financial advice segment.
All right, let's speculate.
Yeah. Where we just throw out a completely hypothetical trade idea.
Love it.
What if
Yeah.
Rithm decides to spin off Nourez
Okay.
through an IPO?
That would be a bold move.
It would be bold.
But, I don't think it's entirely implausible.
Yeah.
I mean, Nourez is doing really well.
They are.
And I think it could attract a lot of interest from investors
Right.
as a standalone company.
Yeah.
And that could really unlock some serious value
For sure.
for Rhythm's shareholders.
And imagine if they also decided to convert to a C Corp structure.
Ooh, interesting.
Right.
Yeah, that would definitely attract a whole new class of investors.
Yeah, who prefer that structure.
Right, exactly.
So combining a Nourez IPO C Corp conversion and their, aggressive expansion into energy infrastructure,
Yeah, that would be a powerhouse.
that would be like
A company firing on all cylinders.
all cylinders, exactly. Competing in some of the most
Dynamic
sectors in the market.
I like it. I like where your head's at.
I know. We're getting a little crazy here.
A little speculative.
But it's fun to,
Absolutely.
think about the possibilities.
It's always good to explore different scenarios.
Exactly.
But big disclaimer here.
Yes.
This is not financial advice.
It's not.
Don't go making any rash decisions based on our ramblings.
Please
Or
don't.
that.
Always do your own research.
Absolutely.
Consult with a financial advisor
Yes, 100%.
before making any investment decisions.
Yeah.
But it's clear that Rithm Capital is
Oh, yeah.
a company worth watching closely.
Yeah, for sure.
Their story is just beginning.
It's going to be an interesting one.
It really is. And what I like about them is they're not just reacting to market trends.
Right.
They're actively shaping their future.
Exactly.
And they seem to have a really, keen understanding of where the value lies.
Yeah, they're smart.
Yeah.
They're doing things the right way.
And their commitment to operational efficiency
Yes.
and strategic diversification.
Absolutely.
That really sets them apart.
It does. It makes them stand out from the crowd for sure.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into Rithm Capital's earnings call.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I hope y'all found it insightful.
Yeah, informative.
And maybe even sparked some ideas for your own investment journey.
Right. Always good to be thinking about those things.
Exactly. And remember, knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Especially when it comes to, navigating the sometimes complex world of investing.
It can be a wild ride out there.
It can. So stay curious.
Yeah.
Stay informed.
Always be learning.
And as always,
Happy investing, everyone.
see y'all next time.